You talk about having the partnerships in place in the market, and on some occasions, Microsoft has partnered with the government to have a Windows 10 government edition. Uh, you know, that partnership also requires sharing some proprietary codes. Does Microsoft see that as a risk?
I think that the debate is framed as you say about the risks of sharing technology. But I think fundamentally when you're thinking about software, there's frankly two things you always need to keep in mind, at least in the world in 2018. The first is we live in a world where there's so much open source software. So the risk equation is different when you're sharing code that you're increasingly publishing to the world anyway. The second thing one needs to think about is in the world today, especially in the tech sector. I mean, we compete against the best athletes in the world. And some of them are American, some of them are Chinese. If you're going to compete against the best athletes in the world, you just have to run faster than everybody else, and you have to run to work every day. So yes, there will be days when we might have to provide some more access to technology than we would provide in other places. We need to think it through. We also need to do it with a sense that our success in the long term, frankly, isn't going to turn nearly as much on what we share as our ability to keep running this race faster than everybody else.
What do you make of the way the debate has been framed by President Trump right now, as in the IP theft, the transfer, and these Chinese tech companies advancing on the back of that is a national security risk? Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I think one actually should probably separate economic issues from national security issues. I worry that in the world today, there are people in the United States saying that Chinese technology cannot be trusted, and there are people in China saying American technology cannot be trusted. And I think in both countries, we should recognize there is a real risk that the rest of the world might look at the United States and China and say, you know what, you're both right. Nobody should trust the technology from either country. And we need to keep in mind that China, as big as it is, the US as important as it is, together, we only account for 24% of the world's people. We need to serve the 76% of the world that doesn't live in China or the United States. That is, frankly, the key to both countries' success. It doesn't mean that we don't have short-term issues, but we need to look through them, find solutions to them, and continue to nurture this trans-Pacific relationship. It is just too important for both North America and Asia.